Weekday nights, the city roars. Tune in loud, turn up some more. Cincinnati show, it's time to play. Sports with strawberry ice today. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. CTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's pure delight. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Feel the crowd, it's electric now. Shouting loud, they all know how. CTV got what we crave. Sports with ice, it's waves and waves. Tigers strike and Bengals roar. Every game we want some more. Tune it in and feel the thrill. Strawberry ice, he's giving chills. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. CTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's pure delight.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Turnipole. And as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio. And as always, I'm coming to you, well, it's not live or recorded, but I'm from the Ice Cave down here. And the Ice Cave is brought to you by Priority Lawn and Landscaping. It is getting sunny out there. The grass is going to start growing. You're going to need a cut. You're going to want to get some landscaping done. You know, some paver patio done, retaining wall, shrubbery, anything you want to get done. Give Priority Lawn and Landscaping a call at 513-430-6114. That's 513-430-6114. You can also follow them on Facebook. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying this video. Make sure you do me a favor. Hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up and share the show out as much as you can. And it's my pleasure I call him Mr. Bengal because he not only played for them, he has been the radio voice for them for over 30 years now. He's an awesome dude. He's a great guy, and he's giving me time to come on my show. I appreciate him. He's none other than Mr. Bengal, Dave Lapham. What's up, Lap?
Strawberry ice in the flesh. I can't believe it. What's going on, man?
In the flesh, I know. You can see me on a screen instead of bugging you outside Bengals practice today.
You know, I've been fortunate to be with the Bengals organization. This will be my 50th year, if you can believe that. 10 years as a player, and this season coming up will be my 40th in the broadcast booth. So coming up on a half a century, man, that's crazy. And I was only 8 years old when I came to the Bengals. So
Right, exactly. Now, I'm not at all trying to make you feel old, but I will be turning 50 here in April. So
is that right?
Yes, sir. So we're on the same age. That's exactly. You know, we're the same age there, Dave. You know.
Yeah.
I'm
with you.
Well, I like it. This is the first time you've been on the show, and I get to see the cool First Star Logistics Studios. That is nice. There is that the new setup you got there?
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, they First Star Logistics, can't thank them enough. I mean, they are the one and only sole sponsor of my podcast I do for In the Trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics. And it really is. It's nice. I mean, you look at one of the walls, but boy, on another wall, it's got like all different kinds of painted into the wall, different things with Bengals career, you know, as a player, nice. As a broadcaster, it's pretty cool. And
wow,
they have a jersey and a shot of the stadium. It's really nice digs. It's nice surroundings. There's no question.
That's a little nicer digs than the Ice Cave down here. I'm just down here in a little corner. So hey, you should get you guys to do a YouTube video of all that stuff around there. So people,
that's a good call. That's a good call.
Yeah, the rest of the studio. All right, man. So first, let's see. Combine starts tomorrow. Duke Tobin and Zach Taylor had their comments yesterday, and I don't know about you, but I was I won't say pleasantly surprised, but very excited about what they said and how I think confident they sounded for the first time, I think, in a while in getting Jamar signed. They said they're going to make him the highest non-quarterback in the league, getting T signed, getting Trey Hendrickson signed, and hopefully adding to this team as well. What was your thoughts on Duke's and Zach's comments yesterday?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, I think at this stage of the season, you want to portray an optimistic outlook for sure.
Right.
There's no question about it. And I think it's warranted. I think the fact that Katie Blackburn has done such a good job from a salary cap perspective, they got money.
Yeah.
And they have to be a little bit probably creative in I don't know about restructuring deals or deferring money, kicking money down the road with certain contracts that they're trying to negotiate or ones that they already have under contract and maybe redoing them and deferring some more money, whatever the case may be, to get all parties signed. But I do know that the fact that they're making every effort to do that does not surprise me because, man, the trio of Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins is phenomenal. And not only are they, man, not only are they symbiotic on the football field, I mean, they can finish each other's sentences on the football field. They can also do it off the football field. I mean, they're fast friends as well.
Right.
It's like they're really good friends. So to me, I think that they get along great. They're putting up tremendous numbers. If you roll the dice and go into free agency like T. Higgins could, who knows where you're going to end up? Who's going to be throwing you the football?
Right.
Who else are you going to have in the receiving core? I mean, your numbers may just fall off the edge of a cliff. Right now, the way the Bengals, their offense is structured, I mean, they're a throw-first football team, and I think they'd like to be more balanced. And Zach said that as part of his dialogue in what you're talking about yesterday. He'd like to, run it about as much as he throws the football. That would be ideal.
Yeah.
But they throw it all over the field, and who do you double? You can't double everybody. And they talked about Mike Gesicki too, how important it is to get him back in the middle of the football field, taking advantage of mismatches against linebackers and safeties. You can't double everybody. And then, Gesicki's going to have a favorable matchup. You can roll both safeties and double the outside receivers, but you're going to have a slot receiver or a tight end that's going to hurt them. So I think they want to run it back. Yeah. And if it makes sense, if it's economically, it's a fair deal. It's a good deal. I think they're thinking about, man, we can put up some serious numbers because when you're done playing, obviously money's big because, they'll have money though for 3 generations.
Right.
They're not going to be able to spend it all themselves unless they're totally foolhardy. But I mean, afterwards, it's like, what did we do? Mm-hmm. How many championships did we win? Mm-hmm. Man, how many passing titles did I have? Mm-hmm. How many times did I win the Triple Crown? I've already done it once. And, all these kind of things start to become more and more important, and when they have reunions, hey, remember this season? Remember what we did? Remember this game? And those kind of things, as you get older, those kind of things become more and more valuable too.
Right, exactly. And well, the other thing that Duke, and I correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the first time I remember Duke emphasizing they want to win championships, which is what we all want. And that's kind of goes to what you're saying is with those 3 together. And I'm with you. I throw Mike G in there too. It's an elite offense, and that part of the side of the ball is not broke. So why are you trying to break it? Don't save them, keep them. And the thing is, from all the experts who've done the money and all that stuff, even if they sign them for a lot of money and they do it how the Bengals normally do their contracts, they still have money left over to sign a couple guys in free agents, which hopefully maybe a guard or 2, so we can get that running game going. But that's the thing. It's like that's what's so exciting about it is hearing Duke and Zach talking like we are, like we want them to talk. I mean, Zach said that we're having champagne problems, which is kind of cool. I mean, it was encouraging to me a lot going forward.
And let's not forget Trey Hendrickson. He threw that out there too. He said he's outperformed his contract.
Yep,
he just said it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not only did he say that Jamar Chase is going to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. He said Trey Hendrickson has earned a contract. I mean, it was very, very forthright, very, very honest, know. And I mean, if you can keep those pieces and still have, a little bit more maybe to help the interior of the offensive and defensive line, beef that up a little bit, or get an edge rush guy, and then in the draft beef up the offensive and defensive line in the interior, or vice versa. However they do it. I mean, they've definitely got areas where, they know they can, they know that they have to get some more bodies, get some more competition in there from a position standpoint. But they've got 3 ways to do it: retain, veteran free agency, the draft, and they're going to go all 3 ways, man. They're in. They're in it to win it. Like Duke said, I heard him again earlier today on Sirius NFL radio. We're a championship caliber football team.
Yes, we are.
And he said, and unfortunately, we didn't play that way. We lost, too many close games, whether it be a 4th and 16 conversion, or whether it be a bad snap or a bad hold or a bad kick in the kicking game, or whatever the case may be. I mean, as we know, 7 games by 7 points or less?
Yes.
Come on.
Yes. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is Duke even came out and said, again, this is something different, that those games, it ticked him off. I didn't like losing. I don't want to lose. I mean, Duke, it was the most truthful stuff I've heard Duke say. Not that Duke lies. I'm not saying that. He just holds everything to the vest and doesn't let a lot out. That was one of the most truthful press conferences I think I've ever heard him do, and I'm here for it. I mean, he didn't say anything that was news breaking. I mean, we all knew they wanted to sign T and Jamar. We knew that was what they wanted to do.
Right.
For him to come out and say that, and the stuff that he said, it was eye opening. Like, okay, yes, that's what we want to hear from as Bengal fans.
Yeah, I mean, Bengals fans wear their emotions on their sleeve.
A little bit.
Yeah. So Duke, who tries not to do that, Duke tries to stay very composed and reserved. He came as close to putting his emotions out there and say, we're a championship caliber football team that didn't play like it last year. And I heard him on one interview, and it kind of pisses me off,
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, get him. That's what we want to hear. Because it pissed all of us off. Because, I mean, like I said, 7 games, like, we should have been in the playoffs, Dave. I mean,
oh, yeah.
And they not only do they have to knock it out of the park this year, they got to get off to a better start. And I know you've talked about it, what to do. Jackpot said he was more reps. He does better, which if you watch Joe, he doesn't really get going until November, maybe October, November, with the way that they've been doing the preseason games. And I know Zach's said that we got to figure out what to do. Zach doesn't really I don't think Zach wants to play people, but I think they're going to have to play somebody, at least for a series or two in these preseason games, to at least get some as real games. I mean, preseason games aren't real NFL. I mean, the real NFL game, but the speed and everything's not the same. But that's the closest you're going to get. They got to start playing them, right?
Yeah. I mean, I thought last year the Bengals were a very poor tackling defensive football team, amongst the league's worst. It starts in the preseason. Even if you decide, okay, we're going to bring 2 more teams in and have controlled scrimmages, like they had 2 of them last year. Right. They had 1 the year before, 2 last season. Mm-hmm. You don't tackle. Right. It's not live tackling. You're not taking people to the ground. Mm-hmm. And for 3 years in a row, 3 straight years now, the Bengals have started 0-2. Mm-hmm. They're 0-6 in their first 6 games of the last 3 seasons combined. Now, now you're digging out of a hole, and the 5-game winning streak to end the season was great. It was great. But still, because of the slow start, I mean, you're looking at 4-8.
Yeah,
you got to win 5 in a row just to maybe have a chance to and it all started in week 1. Let's face it, the New England Patriots not a good football team.
No,
and they were in last place up until the last week. They had the first pick in the draft up until the last game of the season.
Right,
where they worked their way out of that, with a win. Mm-hmm. I think that they will probably figure out a way to get off to a better start in terms of maybe a little bit more play. But it's funny. Sometimes players, you have guys that don't take that many snaps and get off to a good start. And I'm not talking about just the Bengals organization. I'm talking about league-wide.
Right.
And then you'll have guys that play, 65, 70 snaps during the course of the preseason and suck in week one.
Right.
There's no set formula. There's no, you do this is the outcome. If that were the case, everybody would do that.
Right.
You're all over the board in terms of that stuff. So you have to try to figure out, what's best for your football team. And obviously, avoiding injury is their biggest concern. But the slow starts, okay, weighing it out. Do you roll the dice and take a little bit more chance on injury in terms of getting off to a better start? Those are the kind of things that they're going to have organizational conversations about for sure.
Now, one thing is going to help. Now, I'm going to knock on wood. I'm going to knock on everything around here while I say this. Joe Burrow, this should be, I'll put it that way, unless something happens, his first healthy offseason and normal offseason. Now, with that being said, how much of a difference do you think that'll make? That he's not coming back. His rookie year was COVID. Then he had the knee. Then he had the calf. Then he had the wrist. And on and on and on and on. He's had, it's always been something that's not let him have a normal preseason. He should have it this year. How much of that, him having a normal preseason, do you think that could contribute to helping Joe, at least Joe, getting off to a better start?
Yeah, I think it's going to be huge, and knock on wood.
Everything.
Exactly. Hopefully it ends up that way, because there's miles to go before we rest in that regard.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, he's still, that wrist was not right. That wrist was not right in the last week of the season. There were still times when he was throwing the football that wrist was giving him issues. And as a result, it was affecting his act, because this dude is pinpoint. And even with that wrist problem that would crop up from time to time, he still had an unbelievably accurate season throwing the football. But now he's going to have more time to get that wrist 100%, because that was a significant injury. I mean, it's, people, I'm not saying dismiss it, but they don't consider it as, because he had such a productive year.
Right.
I mean, the numbers he put up. So if you're it's like, if he were 100% healthy, knee problem, no wrist problem, no, what would he do?
Right.
What the hell would he do?
Exactly.
It's unbelievable. It really is.
I am here for it. I want to see what he'll do when he's completely healthy.
And that's the reason. Look at the numbers that he, Jamar Chase with the Triple Crown, T. Higgins, 990 yards receiving, and he missed 10 games. I mean 5 games. He missed 5 games. 10 yards away from a 1,000-yard season. He missed 5 games. So, I mean, this is where the quarterback that still had a little bit of a physical ailment in his throwing hand wrist, not the other. So come on. If he's 100% healthy and you bring these weapons back and they're 100% healthy, watch out, NFL. Watch out.
Exactly. And you get a defense. And like, people call me crazy. People say I look at everything through orange-colored sunglasses. I'm too much of a homer. But I was saying this during the season. I said, this team isn't that far off. And people go, during the season, people are like, oh, you're crazy, Strawberry. We're so far off. I was like, look, all you got to do is fix the defense. Like, but there's so much to fix. You can literally fix this defense good enough, I think, to make a Super Bowl run. I mean, if we go up and we're up into the top 15 percentage-wise in defense next year, hell, say top 17. We go there. I think just that alone right there and be able to tackle, we're going to be better. And obviously we'll be better, but that alone right there will be good enough to get us to a Super Bowl run.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, if the defense is middle of the pack, so you were right, there's 32 teams, 16.
Yeah.
Right there. You're 15, you're 17, right in the middle of the pack. If they're in the middle of the pack, or somehow if they can creep up into the top 12, top 10, come on now. It's not impossible. I do have a lot of confidence in Al Golden and Al Golden's system. Him as a coach and as a teacher, that's what coaches are. Coaches are teachers, and he's got his doctorate in teaching football. And his system is outstanding. It was shown to be, they went on a 13-game winning streak at Notre Dame with that defensive football team contributing high and mighty against a good schedule, and all the way to the national championship game.
Right.
And his defense is one of those where, okay, pre-snap it looks one way, post-snap it's another. And he's got a lot of versatility, a lot of creativity. in that defense, and he has to have some versatile players in that defensive football team. If I'm a returning defensive player, I know that I better dot my I's and cross my T's. You know, if you didn't put good enough tape out there for that Al Golden and that staff is evaluating right now. Scott Peters, is the offensive line coach, but Mike Hodges at linebacker and Jerry Montgomery at the defensive line position, and Al Golden and the returning coaches. They're all looking at that tape, and he's looking at what portions of my scheme can I put in that fits this personnel. And if you're not showing up well enough, you're going to be left. Bus is not the bus. You're not going to get on the bus. You're going to be left at the bus stop. And they're going out and they're finding every area they can to add people to this defensive football team to compete. I think they're going to do a really, really good job. I really do believe he feels like he's got some pieces. I just did a podcast with him just a little bit before we started ours, and he's very encouraged, and he's very positive. The coaches have had multiple meetings as a staff. He's very collaborative. He listens to his assistant coaches. They've got great ideas. They know that when he gets up and he starts talking about what he wants to do, they know that he's got great ideas. It's the honeymoon period. There's no doubt about it. Right. But it's a good honeymoon. Yeah. You know, they're in Hawaii. They're not somewhere in the Midwest. You know, they're in Hawaii, man.
I wish I was in Hawaii now. Listen to talk about it. But one thing now I'm not trying to talk bad about Lou Anarumo, but I think Al Golden is going to be. It seems like he'll be better at drafting and developing, because that's where I think Lou kind of did. I don't want to say failed. Didn't do as good. We didn't draft and develop guys on our defense like we should have. And Al Golden, coming from college, I mean, hell, he was Miami's head coach. He was Temple's head coach. So and the Notre Dame defense. The reason Notre Dame was, even when they were close to being in that championship game, was because of the defense. That's the only reason they were in there, because the defense started bringing it back. How good do you think Al Golden will be at drafting and developing? Because I think that's a key thing for this Bengals defense.
Football people that I talk to about Al Golden, that's one of the words that they throw out there. Developer. Mm-hmm. He develops players, not just rookies.
Right.
He develops guys that are, third-year players, fifth-year players. Everybody has a different amount of meat on the bone left to develop, but he develops all of them. It's not like, okay, well, you know it all. There's no more improvement for you. He doesn't believe in that. Right. He believes that he can make every single player, a better football player. And that was one of the things that we talked about in the earlier podcast. He's been a head coach. He's been a coordinator. He's been a position coach at a very, very high level of college football and in the National Football League. And because of that, he has contacts all over the place in every conference in college football and in the National Football League as well. So, I mean, he said he's already had Duke Tobin's already, and the staff's already sat him down and said, you game planned against this guy.
Right.
What were you thinking? You game planned against this football team, and this line. There's a couple of guys we're looking at, or what do you think about this coaching staff and the way they did this? He's a wealth of knowledge, man, in terms of scheme, in terms of personnel, at the collegiate and professional level. So if I'm a personnel department guy, I sit down with Al Golden and say, hey, you were with us less than 3 years ago, and we went to the Super Bowl. And now less than 3 years later on the calendar, in terms of days, you go to the championship game in the college football playoffs. Who's done that before?
Right.
Gone to a Super Bowl at one level, and then 3 years later, go to the big show in the college football.
They had to play 4 games to get to? I can't remember how many games it was.
That was the 4th game. Yeah.
Well, they played 4 games. That's the first time anybody's done that in college football to get there. So
right. And the Bengals, they were a wild card. They had to win three playoff games to get to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So when you had to be playing your best football at the best time at the most important time of the year in the playoffs, it went 3-1 in both cases. Didn't win the big banana, but got to the big show, man.
Yeah, and I remember the when Al Golden was here, he was a linebackers coach.
Yeah,
our linebackers were playing awesome. Pratt was playing his best. Logan Wilson was his best. Akeem Davis Gaither. I mean, our linebackers, they tackled and they also were opportunistic.
Yep.
I mean, how many times did Logan Wilson or Pratt get interceptions, especially that Super Bowl run?
Yeah, and you know, he's got a big love for Logan Wilson. He talked about when he when he worked him out before the draft. Yeah, he drafted him. He drafted all three of those guys. He was the linebacker coach. They have not drafted a linebacker since. The last two drafts, they haven't drafted a linebacker. Now he's going to be studying the linebacker position big time in free agency and in the draft as well as other places. But I mean, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how he kind of melds. He's got so much defense in terms of he's very creative in terms of packages and adjustments to the packages and all that. If players can't handle it mentally, you have to melt it down.
Right.
But obviously, in a perfect world, if you've got a bunch of phenomenal athletes out there that also have a football IQ, man, the sky's the limit. But now you have to find out how good a learner is this guy. How do I have to dumb it down for this guy? You know, is it even worth working with him? Do we even sign him as a free agent? Do we even draft this kid? Those are the things they're going through right now.
Exactly. Now I'll bring it to your wheelhouse there. You brought up we have a new offensive line coach, and I'm curious about how his jiu-jitsu and MMA background is going to translate to offensive line, because jiu-jitsu, I've never done it, but I do know it's a lot with leverage and hand placement and stuff like that, and that's kind of a different way, I think, of teaching offensive line, at least the way different than what Frank Pollock had taught it. What's your thoughts on how what an impact he's going to make?
Did a podcast with him as well earlier this week, or maybe it was even at the end of last week. I can't remember. And he talks about how Jim McNally was his mentor. Jim McNally is a big believer in what Peters is coaching in terms of hand placement, leverage, lengthening, you know, the appendage, the way he does his footwork. It used to, the old school was you had a post foot and you had a kick step. And you know, you were on a 45-degree angle for the kick step, and you had that post foot was up there, and you didn't want to bail out on that post foot and give up the inside. A lot of his stuff is the feet are more parallel, because he wants to be able to lengthen equally both ways. So he, you know, his footwork is, Jim McNally endorses it. He said he knows what he's doing. He's broken it all down, and he is. I mean, he's kind of like a body mechanics expert from the martial arts, jiu-jitsu kind of stuff, and he's a world champion in those things. I mean, in the
he's a badass. Let's be honest, he's a badass.
In the competition, it's like, hey, this is what I'm talking about. He can go hands-on. I'm talking about doing this, bro. You know? I'm talking about striking like this. And it's about hand placement. He's going to have some different techniques, but I do know that the New England Patriot offensive linemen were all in. They thought it was all good stuff. And I mean, if you believe in it and you can teach it and coach it, guys will follow, man. Guys will believe in it too. The biggest thing is it's got to work. And that's the thing.
Yes.
Like these Patriot players were like, hey, coach, what you're telling, man, it worked. I mean, this guy had a great outside move, upfield move. Man, I was stoning him with that outside hand because my arm was longer, because my feet were more parallel. Whatever the angles and the geometry and the mechanics and the, you know, football geometry. I think he's going to teach it, and I think the guys are going to respond to it.
That's awesome. Now, as a former offensive lineman yourself, how hard is it to, because like you said, you usually have a plant foot and a kick foot. How is that different to get that in your head to keep your feet parallel? How hard would that be to change that? Because offensive linemen are always like that. You know, to do it parallel is foreign, I guess. Is the best way to say it.
Well, usually though, at some point in time during the course of the play, your feet will be parallel. You know, if you're not moving both feet at the same time, you're not hopping.
Right.
You're doing one thing at a time. So if you kick, you bring your other foot, you bring your plant foot back. You know, so you're moving both feet at the same time. It's just a different way of. I don't think it's going to be that big of an adjustment.
Okay.
I think it's easier. Just from a human body standpoint, we do everything with our feet parallel anyway.
Yeah, you're more on balance, I would think. Yeah.
you're standing. When you walk, you have one foot in front of the other.
Right.
But it's a more comfortable posture when you're just talking to people. You stand. You're not with one foot back and a post. That's not so it's more comfortable, for the human body to have their feet parallel anyway. I don't know.
Hey, you forgot more about offensive line than I'll ever do. So I trust what you're saying.
Yeah, I think it all can. The biggest thing is believing in it.
Yes.
And if you believe it all can work. There's a million ways to skin a cat in terms of techniques and fundamentals and all that.
Right.
But if a coach believes in it and he teaches it with passion, which this guy does, I think they're going to be fine.
That's a great thing in life. If you believe in it, that you're going to be successful in it. That's anything.
99% of the battle right there.
Exactly. I'll get you out on this question, and I got to bring it up. The Hall of Fame, they only let 4 guys in, which I think's a shame. I don't know. That's one of the smallest classes they've ever had. Willie didn't get it. Kenny didn't get it. Corey Dillon's still on the outside looking in. Willie's been a finalist for the last 2 years, back-to-back years. Ken Anderson, I'm not sure where he's at, but he should have already been in. I don't know about you, but it pissed me off. When I saw 4 guys, I'm like, really? 4? That's it? Like, you couldn't do one more, get Willie in, or 2 more, get Kenny? 4? Like, how? I don't know. How did you feel about it? You can tell I'm frustrated by it.
Yeah, honestly, as a former teammate and roommate, Kenny and I roomed together 8 years. I think that in my era anyway, he was the best player that I've ever played with that's not in the Hall of Fame. Dude, his numbers speak for themselves. Particularly in 74 and 75, he led the league in passing those 2 years. That was my rookie and second year.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm teammates and roommates with the guy who has led the National Football League in passing and all these great quarterbacks in the NFL. And my guy is back-to-back years, and he won passing titles back-to-back season 2 different times.
Yep, 2 different decades.
84 and 85, 81 and 82.
Yep.
He's the only one.
Nobody else has done that.
Only one. In my mind, that is enough to get in. If you've done something like that, and we're not talking about, hit back-to-back NFL passing titles. That's the best, the most productive quarterback in the league, back-to-back seasons in 2 different decades. No one else has done it. Whew.
Yeah. Well, especially even back in the 70s, and 80s, especially the 70s, you could pass the ball very well. You had Isaac Curtis, but they also had the Isaac Curtis rule because they would tackle him halfway down the field, and Kenny would still get on the ball.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, when it was, you could basically tackle guys, not bump and run, tackle them at the line of scrimmage, and he still led the league in passing. And then the 80s, it liberalized a little bit, and he led the league back-to-back seasons. Come on. He adapted. He adapted as well as the coaches did, the players did, but he was the guy that was throwing the ball. And the common denominator was he could throw the ball through an onion ring at 40 yards. It was ridiculous.
Those guys threw the ball in the freezer bowl when it was cold as hell.
Huge hand.
Yeah.
He had Kenny has big hands. Kenny has oversized hands for his body type.
I've shaken his hands before. They're ginormous.
They're big. And he could that football, man, he wrapped his hand around that bad boy like it no tomorrow. And then, Willie Anderson, come on, man. Put on tape and watch. If there's an NFL team right now in this era that would not take Willie Anderson in the first round, whenever they're picking in the first round, come on.
Right.
It's not going to happen. Corey Dillon the same way.
Yeah.
This class of running backs is one of the deepest classes and most prolific classes they've had at the running back position in a while. Corey Dillon's better than any damn one of them by far. Exactly. Not even close. So, these guys are I don't know. All the time we hear, is it because it's small market? Is it because of this? Because of that?
I'm tired of that crap. They should be in there.
Bottom line is, like you're saying, to only have 4.
Yeah, 4.
As more and more guys are playing, and more careers are going such lengthy careers. Back in the day, if somebody played 10 years, that was like, what?
Right.
Now it's like, It's the norm. Now
Yeah.
you get guys, you get guys just retiring 19 years in the league.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Right.
Offensive lineman, 19 years in the league with the same team.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now. I mean, they say, all right, you got to adapt and adjust as a player and as a coach. You got to adapt and adjust if you're a Hall of Fame person too. Adapt, bro. Adapt and adjust, man. Seriously.
Exactly. I would love to know what the criteria is or something of what makes the voters vote the way they vote, but we'll never know. It's just frustrating because, especially when that was 4. I'm like, really? We couldn't get one of our guys in when you only had 4 guys? Anyway, I was very frustrated by it. But either way, I cannot wait until the season starts. Got the combine, which I love the combine. Got free agency. Then we got the draft. Then we got mini camp. And I'll start bugging you guys as you walk back and forth from practice and everything. It's going to be fun. Dave, tell everybody about your podcast and anything else you want to promote before I let you go.
Yeah, I mean, we do a podcast, In the Trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics, and you can catch it on YouTube or wherever else you might want to get your podcast. And it's predominantly Cincinnati Bengals. I cover the Bengals, try to cover them from soup to nuts, get coaches, players, front office people, scouting department, personnel people, retired players, other players around the National Football League, broadcasters, retired broadcasters, anything related to the game of football, and have some fun with it. It is a lot of fun, and there's always, as you know, doing your podcast, Strawberry Ice, it's like somebody always says something. It's like, damn, I haven't heard that before. That's interesting,
Right.
There's always a nugget, man.
Always
a pearl that gets thrown out there. There's no doubt.
Exactly. Well, Dave, I appreciate you coming on, man. As always, thanks for making the time. And who day, brother?
Who day, Ice Man? You the man.
You too. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Go follow Dave Lapham. You can follow him on Twitter or X, whatever you call it, on Dave Lapham in the Trenches. Check out the podcast. It's one of my favorite podcasts to listen to. Dave's an awesome dude. You can hear he's completely passionate about the Bengals. And I don't care what anybody says. I love him and Dan Horde doing the Bengals games. It is absolutely an absolute blast listening to them. So thanks for watching, guys. Again, on this video, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, share. This video will be out on YouTube, so make sure you guys check that out there. You can follow me on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. And shout out to my wonderful sponsors. We got Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Like I said, it is warming up. Make sure you check out Priority Lawn and Landscaping for all your lawn and landscaping needs. You got flower bed, you got grass, paper patio, any of that stuff. Give them a call at 513-430-6114. Again, that's 513-430-6114. And do me a favor, tell them Ice sent you. Also, check out T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. If you're looking for a house, a condo, apartment, or if you got to run a property, you don't want to manage it anymore, give T Properties a chance. Awesome. Well, my Westside peeps, go check out Hail Mary's right there in the heart of Cheviot. For you Westsiders or non-Westsiders, Cheviot is Cheviot. It's right in the heart of Cheviot. Got a big ass TV screen, beer specials, food trucks, free parking. It's an awesome sports bar. Check them out. Hail Mary's, your ticket to the game. And if you guys are looking for any windows and doors, I highly recommend Meyer Windows and Doors. You can check their website out at www.meyercincinnati.com. I got them in my house, and like I said, I highly recommend them to get them in yours. They're energy efficient, easy to clean, great looking windows. Again, Meyer Windows and Doors. Shout out, guys. I appreciate Dave Lapham coming on the show. He doesn't have to do that for me. It's awesome that he made time for him to come on my show. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time. Make sure, again, you like, subscribe, share, hit the bell for the notifications. Throw it up. Who Day for life. And that's your sports, baby. See ya!
Weekday nights, the city roars. Tune in loud, turn up some more. Cincinnati show, it's time to play. Sports with Strawberry Ice today. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. CTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry Ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's good lights. touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Feel the crowd, it's electric now. Shouting loud, they all know how. CTV got what we crave. Sports with ice, it's wave.